Right friends, welcome back to Capsule-1 of 34th week. URJIT Patel will be the new Reserve Bank of India Governor, and I would like to tell you Raghuram Rajan is the 23rd Governor. URJIT Patel will be the 24th Governor of Reserve Bank of India, and another important aspect is the tenure of 18th Governor S. Venkataramanan was just 2 years. Subsequently, the 4 governors, that is C. Rangarajan, Bimal Jalan, then Y.V. Reddy, D. Subbarao, all have got 5 years of tenures. Now the 23rd governor, Raghuram Rajan, is going back to academia after 3 years. So 18th governor has got just 2 years of tenure. Subsequently 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, that is C. Rangarajan, Bimal Jalan, Y.V. Reddy, Duvuri Subbarao have got 5 years of tenures each, and now Raghuram Rajan, 23rd governor, is going back after 3 years, and URJIT Patel will be the 24th governor for Reserve Bank of India, and URJIT Patel is appointed for a period of 3 years. And his appointment was approved by the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet. Please don't forget, Appointments Committee of the Cabinet is headed by the Prime Minister, but the recommendations were made by Financial Sector Regulatory Appointments Search Committee headed by the Cabinet Secretary. Please don't forget, the top level appointments to financial sector regulators are being done based on the recommendations of Financial Sector Regulatory Appointments Search Committee, or otherwise known as FSRASC. This is headed by the Cabinet Secretary, and based on the recommendations, Appointments Committee of the Cabinet headed by the Prime Minister will take final decision. And you may ask, what are the financial sector regulators? Reserve Bank of India, Securities and Exchange Board of India, Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, and IRDAI. These are examples of financial sector regulators. This is one important point. As per RBI Act of 1934, RBI can have a governor and 4 deputy governors, and URJIT Patel is the present deputy governor since January 2013. Another important aspect is he is the 8th deputy governor to be elevated as governor, and he is the expert in monetary policy, and in fact he recommended monetary policy committee, and now government already notified a 6-member monetary policy committee, and inflation targeting was also recommended by URJIT Patel committee. Now another important aspect is he worked with several international organizations and associated with several committees in our country. And if you look at his academic profile, he is a graduate from London School of Economics, and please don't forget, he was born in 1963 in Kenya, and MPhil from Oxford University and PhD from Yale University. So he studied in prestigious universities such as Oxford University, Yale University, and London School of Economics. And his profile with the previous tenures, you can go through here. He worked with the International Monetary Fund. He was a non-executive director on the board of Gujarat State Petroleum Corporation, worked with Reliance Industries, consultant to Finance Ministry, member of several committees, advisor to Boston Consulting Group, author of New Monetary Policy Framework, advisor to RBI for development of debt market banking sector reforms, at the same time executive director and member of the management committee of IDFC. So he got a vast experience in various financial matters. And in view of his joining Reserve Bank of India as governor, let us look at the conducive environment at present. One thing is good monsoon almost in several regions of the country, and benign commodity prices across the world. That means commodity prices are kind and they are not increasing. That is the meaning of benign. That means they are favorable, kind. And you may ask, what are commodities? Please look into this slide. These are examples of commodities, and the commodity prices at present are benign. Second important aspect is oil prices are not expected to rise in near future. If oil prices increase, what will happen? If oil prices increase, then it will lead to inflationary tendencies. Third one is demand for consumer credit is quite good and strong, but corporate credit offtake is not satisfactory. The scenario in our country is there is demand for consumer credit and corporate credit is not up to the mark. Then structural reforms like goods and services tax will have positive effect on the growth, but in the long run very important factor. And current account deficit almost became insignificant at less than 1%. Then foreign exchange reserves are over $360 billion and they are more than the required import cover for 10 months. So, this is a conducive environment with one or two negative aspects, that is the corporate credit is not satisfactory. And if you look at the challenges, consumer price index based inflation already crossed 6%, it is at 6.07% in July 2016 and Reserve Bank kept internal inflation target of 5% by March 2017. And at the same time, government also gave inflation target of 4% plus or minus 2% till March 2021. That means inflation range is fixed by the government 2% to 6%, but now it already crossed 6%, around 6.07%. So, containing inflation within the range given by the government is going to be somewhat a challenging task. Second important aspect, maturity of FCNR deposits. This FCNR deposits or fixed deposits, Government of India mobilized this FCNR deposits in September 2013. At that time, we have problem with currency depreciation and in September 2013, India mobilized FCNR deposits because they are foreign currency, mostly dollar denominated deposits, and so as to contain the fall of rupee depreciation, these deposits were mobilized, and in September 2013, Reserve Bank of India gave a swap facility to banks to mobilize these deposits, and accordingly around $25 billion deposits of 3-year duration were mobilized in September 2013 and now they are maturing. That means around $20 to $25 billion of foreign exchange outgo is expected, and so as to maintain the outgo of $20 to $25 billion without rupee depreciation is another challenge. The third important aspect is, as the government announced 6-member monetary policy committee from October 2016 onwards, the monetary policy will be decided by 6-member monetary policy committee. Now, till date, Reserve Bank of India Governor has got whole and sole power, or you can say veto power. But from now onwards, it will be majority decision with the 6-member monetary policy committee, and smooth the transition from almost monopoly of Reserve Bank of India Governor to monetary policy committee is the need of the hour. The fourth important problem is NPAs in public sector banks as well as the subdued credit offtake, especially by corporate sector. These are the issues to be solved. NPAs issue is yet to be solved. Second thing is the corporate credit offtake is not satisfactory, and in the entire banking system, the credit offtake is less than 10%. That is not a satisfactory sign when you look at the 7 to 8% growth in the country. So, the problem of NPAs in public sector banks as well as the subdued credit offtake, especially by corporate sector, these are the challenges for the new governor. Then the continuation of asset quality review as initiated by Raghuram Rajan. Raghuram Rajan initiated asset quality review strictly, and this is to be enforced so as to stem the rot of non-performing assets. Then ensuring monetary policy transmission is important aspect. when repo rate was reduced by 150 basis points during the past 1.5 years, banks could reduce their base rates, or at present MCLR, by hardly 70 to 80 basis points. When RBI reduced repo rate by 1.5%, banks could reduce their interest rates by just 0.7 to 0.8%. So, this monetary policy transmission is to be ensured. That is another challenge. The next one is ensuring the liquidity in the banking system is also very important to ensure reduction in interest rates. Then the new governor should support innovations like unified payment interface. This is basically to facilitate transition to cashless economy, and at the same time ensuring the flow of credit to MSMEs is also very important. If you look at the role of the new RBI governor. And final word is a food for thought. In CPI basket, 46% weightage is for food products, and all of you are well aware, food inflation primarily results due to supply side constraints or structural bottlenecks in the economy, and poor rural infrastructure, poor food processing facilities, and no cold storage facilities in rural areas, and poor marketing facilities for agri-produce. At the same time, middlemen is another problem as far as the prices of agricultural commodities are concerned. So, these are the supply side constraints or structural bottlenecks. Now, government has to do a lot if the consumer price index based inflation is to be controlled. So, inflation targeting through monetary policy of RBI is serving purpose only to some extent, because the 46% weightage is for food products, and food inflation basically depends on removing structural bottlenecks and supply side constraints. So, a lot more needs to be done by Government of India as well as Finance Ministry. Right? So, with this final word, let us say best wishes to URJIT Patel. Have a nice day. Thank you.